Hello and welcome back to Overreacted. So as you must have seen on the thumbnail that in this video we are going to create the second part of the quiz app that we have on our channel. The very first video that I made was in React Native, a quiz app. So I left the video in between and after 8 long months I'm going to continue the video and complete the entire project. So in this video we are going to create the result section and complete our quiz app basically. So few things first, that I have cloned my code from GitHub. You may find the link in the description or in the comment section of the previous video. And if you haven't watched the previous video of the quiz app, uh, go and watch that, because in that video we have created a larger section of this quiz application already, and I'll be continuing in this video. Few things first before getting into code, that I'm writing React Native code after a really long time, so I might Google as long as I go developing the project. And also, since I have been completing this project after 8 months, my coding pattern has changed a lot, so I might rewrite some of the code that I wrote earlier. So without further delay, let's start. Also, in the previous video I used Xcode and iOS simulator, but in this video I'll be using Android emulator. Android Studio, it doesn't change anything, but just a heads up, because you might find that change here. So I'll start npm run android. You can clone the repository, you can uh, enter the command npm I to install the node modules, and then just hit the command and your Android emulator, or if you are running on iOS Xcode, then the respective command, and your application will open up. So as you can see, we have the first screen, that is Quizler. We can change the UI later, but the core functionality should be completed first. We'll focus on that. So if I click on start, we'll go to this screen where right now, which is this screen, I believe, yes, quiz screen. So okay, so what is happening right now, we are calling a function get quiz in our use effect. Let's give some space here, and this is making an API call to open trivia database to get 10 question of multiple choice of any type, right? So and then we are like rendering the question on our screen, and we have a variable here which is quest. Ideally this should be question number anyway. So this is keeping the count that at which question we are right now. So we are using zero based counting, so we are at the first question, which means 0. So this question is being shown here, and if I press next, nothing is happening. So you might have noticed that in a previous video we left where there was some gibberish characters were showing in the question, and that's where we left. So in this video we'll fix that, and before that let's put the functionality to the next button here. So it's very simple. In touchable opacity, there is a like this thing on press. Let's call this function handle next press, right? Handle next press. So you see we have 10 questions. So what we want, that const handle next press. So as long as we are not on the last question, we want to go to the next question. So what we will do here is that we will say, okay, what we can do instead of handling the logic here, we'll just say set quests plus 1, and okay, now this will increase the count by 1. Now what will happen, I'll show you what will happen if you reach the last question. Like this is second question, third question. Okay, so this was the character I was talking about. We'll fix this in a moment. Next question, next question, next question, next question, next, and when you finally press the next, you will see an error because undefined is not an object, which means my quest value is 10 right now, and I have only 10 objects in my array, which means the 11th object is missing since we are using zero based system. So for that, what we can do, we can either keep an if statement here, that if question is already 10, then don't do anything, or we can hide the next button when the count is 10. So when the count is 9 basically. So if quest is equal to 9, not equal to 9 basically, which means if it is less than 9, then then only render this. So this should work. I don't know why this is not being formatted. Anyway, so this should work. As you can see, like if I go to the last question, my next button will hide automatically. So you see this is the last question, which is the 10th question, and I don't see the next button here. So our problem is solved. We'll show a button here called show results. Let's quickly create that and also see why this is not being saved. My prettier is working anyway. So let's copy this and let's paste this here, and we will say if question is equal to 9, which means if it is the last question, then instead of next just say show results, and instead of this right now I'll just pass a null function. So this should work. As you can see, show results is here, and nothing will happen if we press on this because we are not passing any function. But what we should do now, we should fix that part where I told you we are getting some characters here. So in this quiz application, we are not giving the freedom to user to go back and change the answer of previous question, because that will we can do that. That will like increase the complexity of our quiz application. But right now let's focus on a very simple flow where user will come, user will see 10 questions, user will give answer to the 10 questions, and they will see a result finally. So for that, before that, let's change this. So what is happening right now when we are getting question from open trivia database, it is called JSON escaping. So JSON escaping, what happens that you see this quotes character, you see this special characters, these are encoded in a format so that the integrity of the result is maintained. So we have to either unscape the string, or either change the encoding format of the questions that we are getting. So we used to have a function called unscape, which is now deprecated, so we can't use that unscape here. Basically I'll just show you unscape HTML unscape string js. So if you see, unscape used to be a function, but now it is deprecated, so you shouldn't use this. Instead what we will do, open trivia db API, and here we will change the default encoding format to URL encoding RFC 3986. So, and now when you generate, you will get this API URL. You just copy this last part and add it to your URL that we are getting. Now if I refresh, you will see that we're still getting this. Now there are a lot of gibberish characters, ampersand 20, %20. So how to fix this? We have an inbuilt function here. We will say decode URI component, and we'll wrap our answer question string basically into this function, wrapper function. So now as you can see, this is working fine. Now if I just reload my application, start, so that we'll be at the very first question. You can see who had a 1969 top 5 hit with the song A Boy. So you can see this character, this used to be a encoded in encoded format. Now it's really showing really well. So now it's working. My functionality for the next question is also working. Now let's focus on showing our options, and then we'll focus on showing the results. So this is it. Let's do it, and Control M, reload. Okay, so as you can see, we are showing here cool option 1. Instead of this, I'll just copy this part and I'll replace it here 1. And now I don't know that what's the name of the option, so I'm already console logging one of my result to see the structure. As you can see, this is category, correct answer is this, then we have a difficulty level, then we have 1 2 3 incorrect questions. Okay, so now we have 3 incorrect answers and 1 correct answer that we want to show in our results here, in our options basically. But if we directly map through them, it will always be that either the first option will be correct or either the last option will be correct. So let's create an array which will basically this generate random options, like which will shuffle these options. So in order to do so, we will just search this thing, shuffle array JavaScript. You can create this function yourself also, but I'll save the time and I'll just copy this function from here. Yep, I think this will do my job. So this is Dunstan-Feld shuffle, which is an algorithm I'm believing, or you can just copy this smaller function, which is the ES6 format. So I believe this will be the best one for us. So okay, let's go and create a function here which will be const shuffle array. I'll use an arrow function because I like arrow functions more than because of the simplicity that they provide, and there are other benefits of using array functions as well. We are not going to discuss that in this particular video. So we just have to pass our array and this will shuffle and return our array. Now that we have our shuffle array function, let's create another state. Let's call it question and say options. Let's say set options. So I'll just repeat once again for your clarity that this is a hook that we are using, which is provided by React. So use state hook, in which this is kind of a variable and this is the setter function. You can name it in any way that you want, but the general convention is that set and whatever the variable name is. So this is the general convention. You're not bounded by this, but so let's say this is an empty array because why empty array? So that we can change it as soon as we get the result. Now here, when we are setting the question data dot result, we will also set the options to the very first question's options. So why so? Because we want to render the options on our screen. But so before that, we will say generate options and shuffle. So this will do. So I'll just pass my results, which is data dot results, and we'll pass the very first question. So this will generate my options. Let's create a function here very quickly, which is const generate options and shuffle. This will take an input, which is an input of type question. So I'll just say I'll put an underscore before that so that I can show that this is a private variable not being used by anyone else, only in this function. So let's say this is the question that we are getting, and in our console you can see we have a correct answer key and incorrect answers. So we will get total 1 2 3 4 options. That's great. So let's say let's say options. Now this options is an array in which we will spread question dot correct answer dot correct answer. So this is the spread operator. Basically it will copy the value of question dot correct answer if it is in array format or if it is in string format that you will see here. Where is the correct answer? Munich and then Berlin, Hamburg, Dortmund. Okay, and then we will say question dot incorrect underscore. You can see here incorrect answers. Cool, answers. So let's do one thing. Let's just console.log this first of all to see if we are doing right or wrong, and till then I'll put some space here and some space here. I'll remove this console log as well. So let's see here, WAXBANGL. Okay, so sorry, I missed this core concept of JavaScript, that if you spread a string, it will spread like this. As you can see, this is each of the character is individually like separated out from the string and added to the array. We definitely don't want to do that. So what we will do is not like this. We will say spread the incorrect options and then options dot push question dot correct answer. Now if I log it, you can see Steve. Okay, so you can see these are the encoded characters. Obviously we will have to use our decode URI component before using any of these. So we will use that directly here in the text box, not here. So now that we are getting options, we just want to do this, which is shuffle array, and we will pass our question options, and then we will log, right? So console dot log, we will log two things. First, the very first thing is we will log 2 times to see the options before shuffling and to see the options after shuffling. So we will say console.log, we will say options, and we will say again console.log options. Let's pass this string here before, and here let's say after. Now if I log here, you should see before it was this. Okay, so you can see just 2 of the options are shuffled, like this guerrilla warfare is now the 4th option, Midwest militia is the 3rd option. I'll refresh it and we'll see again. If I go to that screen, I should see the shuffled options. You can see that this is shuffling. Now one question you might get is that we are not returning anything from here, then how my array is being shuffled? So this is one of the core concept of JavaScript, in which any value which is not a primitive data type, you just read more about primitive data type, is passed by reference. So here we are passing this array by reference of options. So any changes that we make here will directly alter our array. So directly changes will be applied to this variable, this array. So therefore we don't have to return anything, we don't have to assign it to anything, and we can just directly alter the values. So now that our options are shuffled, what we want to do is to return options from here. And once this is returned, this will return this options whenever we call this function. So I guess here we will have to use set options, and then whatever we are getting from this function. Now if I save it, this is bugging me that my prettier is on, still it is not auto saving on save. Let's just ignore it. So okay, now in our options we have stored the very first 4 options. So let's go here and let's render it. Instead of this, we will say options 0. Let's copy this thing, let's copy this entire thing. 1, okay, 2, 3 and 4, and let's change the index value 1, 2 and 3. Now if I save it, I should see carry duck beamer. The question is, what cricketing term denotes a batsman being dismissed with a score of 0? This I know, this is duck, but obviously we don't have the functionality to mark the questions correct or incorrect. So but even if I go to the next question, you see the options are still the same. We have to change something here as well. Whenever we are handle next press, here we will have to call this question, this particular line, and instead of this data dot results, we will just say questions dot quest dot okay, this is it. So let us say quest plus 1. Okay, now you will say that I just increase the value of quest here. Why do I have to increase it here as well? Because you see, this change won't be reflected in this, just in the next line. Only when I come out of this function, the value of quest will be increased. So therefore I have to pass it plus 1 here only. So now if I see, my function should work. Who is the founder of the Lego group? Okay, my options are a little messed up. Let me see what happened. So questions quest 0, let us say it is 0 plus 1. I'll just have to do this first of all, reload. Let's see which Greek letter represents the Half-Life logo. Half-Life logo, I don't know, we can Google it actually. Anyway, I'll just Google it very quickly. Half-Life logo, Greek letter, lambda. Okay, so the answer is lambda. Okay. Which one of the following rhythm games was made by Harmonix? Which one of the following rhythm games? Let's just Google it. Rhythm game by Harmonix. The answer is, okay, there are a lot of games, I guess. Dance Central and Rock Band. Okay, Dance Central and Rock Band. Okay, both of the options are here, so I guess the correct answer is Rock Band. So the basic thing is that our options are being rendered correctly. Which of these in the Star Trek series not in Klingon food? I don't know this. Computer manufacturer Compaq was acquired for $25 billion. I don't know, but the options are correct. So our functionality is working. Now the next thing that we want to see is that whenever I click on any button, two things should happen. First is that, okay, now let's see what kind of functionality do we want here. That the moment I click any option, should I go to the next question, or should I just check this, and when I press on the next, I should go to the next question. So these two things will define how we are going to code. So let's keep it very simple as possible. So the moment I click on any of the option, that answer should be selected and we will go to the next question. So this will increase the difficulty that a user, even if a user press any option by mistake, that answer will be submitted. But we can't do anything here, right? Because it's our app, we can code it however we want. So what we will do here is we will create a function constant handle selected option, and this will get again option, that whatever option we selected, or yeah, option, whatever option we selected. And then what we can do is we can first of all do one thing, console.log, if the answer that the user has selected is correct or not. So it's very simple. What we can do here is, let's just log option is equal to which is our this thing here, our questions, and in the bracket questions and dot correct answer. Now if the selected option that will pass as a parameter here, if this is equal to the correct answer, it will be true, otherwise it will be false. Let's try this out. It's very simple. We just have to write a function here on press, and now you see we have to write it this way, not directly pass the function. We have to actually call it and pass the parameter, pass the value. So what value we will be passing here, I'll tell you in a moment. Handle selected option, here we will pass this thing, option 0. So this will be the first option for A and B and C and so on. So I'll copy this and I will paste it in each of the touchable opacity. So there are a lot, like hundreds of ways of creating a quiz application, creating various logics however you want. This might not be the very best strategy to create a quiz application, but since I started this project in this way 8 months back, I am continuing this project in this manner only. But okay, in future I will create a second version of a quiz application which will be far better, and I'll show you how you can enhance the code and how you can create a far more scalable quiz application. But so far in this project we will use this method only, and believe me, this is also really good. All the functionalities will work, your quiz application will run very smoothly. So now let's see. Okay, we are logging the option. What does, okay, I'll refresh. No, not this. I minimized it. So yeah, I'll reload, and then let's see if I know the answer or not for the questions. Okay, nothing is showing up. My internet is correct. Okay, League of Legends, Dota 2, Smile and Heroes are all part of which game genre? I guess they are. I don't play games a lot, so let's just say first person shooter, which is false basically. Okay, I'll say role playing game, which is also false. Real time strategy is false. The only option that we selected and the last is the correct option. So you can see A was the correct option, and we are getting true when we press MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena. Got it. I'll remember this next time. Which of these countries remained neutral during World War II? And if I go to Switzerland, which is true here, as you can see, A is correct. Are we getting true for the first option all the time? We'll have to verify this. In the anime assassination classroom, what is the class that, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Okay, let's just say B. B is false, A is false, C is true. Okay, so the options are being shuffled, not to worry. So again, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, what was the name of the main antagonist? I remember this, I used to play Need for Speed, but I might have forgot. Let's say this one. B is false, C is false, D is true. Okay, it's Razor. Got it. So now you can see we are getting true false based on whether our option is correct or not. Now we have to add two more things here. Okay, now you can see this code is getting a little longer. So in these cases you should segregate your code into components, because you are using React, and React, the core concept of React is components only. But let's just complete this application. We can create the optimization, we can make the UI better you can do that on your own. That's not an issue. So let's say score, let's say set score, use state 0, and let's say for each of the correct score you will get 10 points, and for each of the incorrect score you will get 0. I won't be giving negative. That's up to you how you want to create your score pattern. So for handle selected pattern, now if this is true, which means if the selected option is correct, what we will do is set score plus 10, which means increase it by 10. else do nothing, and by default do this thing. By default just go to the next question, because as I told you that the moment our user clicks on any of the option, that will be selected as answer and user will move to the next question, and there is no option to go back to the previous question. So yeah, we are making the quiz application really hard. We can optimize it, but no need, because this is our app. We can create it however we want. So let's do it. Now let's reload and start. In which order do you need to hit the some Deku scrubs? I don't know which kind of questions these are, man. Not at all familiar. So I selected an option. We move to the next question. How many bones are human body? Okay, this I know. What prime number comes next after 19? 21 is not prime. 23 is prime. When did the Battle of Bulge end? I don't even know this. What is the correct term? Okay, so as you can see, we can select an option, and this thing, like our question is changing, our options are changing, everything is working. Now we have to add the functionality to the skip button as well, and the next button as well. So basically next and skip button are kind of doing the same thing right now, because if I press next without selecting any option, I won't get any question. So what we can do is okay, yeah, let's just do this. Instead of skip, let's remove the skip button and let's do a previous button. Yeah, we can give some functionality to the user here. Let's call it previous, so that in case user marked a question incorrectly, they can go to the previous screen and change the option. But how will I know that for the same question score is not being added two times? For that we'll have to think of some logic. So what we will do is therefore I wasn't going to give an option to go to previous. Let's just hide this for now and let's see how it is working. Yeah, next. Okay, so if I go next, show results. So yep, this is our final thing, and nothing is happening when I click on show results. Let's add the functionality to go to the show results page when I click on this button, or when I click on the final option. As you can see, this undefined is not an object, we are getting this. So let's fix this first of all, that handle selected option. If quest value is not equal to 9, then only do this, otherwise don't do this. So for the last question we won't be doing this. So that's it. Our app is so far so good. Let's just see if this is working or not. Yep, done. So for the final question, what we want to do is we want the user to navigate to the this page, which is our results page. I'll just copy the code for navigation because I forgot, it's been a long while since I coded in React Native. I'll just copy this. Okay, I have already destructured it. So the way is to navigation.navigate and whatever the name is. So we will check in this tag, the name is result. Okay, perfect. So here show result, let's call a function here, handle show result. Okay, now let's create a function here, const handle show result, and this will do is navigate. I hope I'm doing this correctly. Result. Let's see if I click on show result. Yep, you can see this is our result screen, and if I click on home button, I should go to the home screen. Perfect. So this is working, and yes, this is also here. I can select the options correctly, and also I can go to the next button is basically skip. Let's change the text of next to skip because this makes more sense. Yeah, if I click on skip, finally show results, you go to the result screen. Now we have to style our result screen, but before styling we have to pass the value of our result here. So in order to pass the value of our result, I believe we can pass object here, which is key params object, navigate route, and then we can pass an object. Yes, we can pass something here. Let's call it score, and which will be the value of our score. So okay, let's see if we are getting this here or not. So let's go to our result screen, and along with this navigation here. Let's say const params is equal to navigation dot params. I hope this is how it works. I'm not very sure, but let's see. Console dot log params. I used to do this in this manner only. I'll have to Google for a moment, but I believe this should work. I'll refresh it, reload, next, and finally, okay, when I do this, this is undefined. Okay, let's Google pass param in navigation dot navigate React Native. Okay, so this is how we pass it. Details, item ID, okay, and okay. So we don't get it from navigation, we get it from root dot params. Got it. And now if I refresh it, okay, as you can see, score is equal to 10. So okay, one of my option was correct, so I got 10 out of 100. That's not at all a good score, but anyway, let's like finish this result screen. So we have a result text here. We can just style this text, and we can style this home button here. Let's do this. Let's go to quiz button and let's copy this style from here, which is our button style. I'll copy this button, I'll paste it here, I'll save it. I'll give where do I have to give the styling? I forgot. Okay, on the touchable opacity. On the touchable opacity, we have to give style is equal to styles is dot button. I hope this will work. Perfect. So this is working, but okay, this is working. Button max width. Okay, let's just give up another property, which is max width. Let's call it 25%. So this will be like 25%, and let us also give one property called color, which change the color of our text. Let's call it white, so that okay, it is not working. Why so? What is the name of the property? Is it text color? We can call it here only. So let's call it style is equal to color, let's say white. So this will change the text color to white. Okay, I'll test it again. Just mark any options, and when you finally reach this home button is looking good. We just have to align it to the center. I hope align self will work here. Yeah, this is working. And also what we can do is banner. This is the banner that we have, and this is the text that we have. So we can push it down a little bit. So for that, I'll see how I'm doing this here. Padding top 100, button size, banner container, padding top horizontal, vertical, and perfect. So instead of doing this, let's just copy this entire style from here and let's paste it here. Let's paste it here for a moment, and then I'll copy this, Command C, and instead of doing this, I'll say make it like this, and just again copy this, Command X, and replace this entire text view. Save it. This is not being formatted automatically, but you can ignore it. I'll just copy the styles from here, which is this part, and let's go to results section. Let's replace the entire styles, save it, and let's see. Quizlet start, and yes. Finally, if I go to show results, can't find variable title. Okay, where am I using title? Container, contain, start. Okay, where am I using the variable title? Okay. So this title I'm not using anywhere. I'll just import it from there. And now if I go to the final result screen, and Now as you can see, this is how it is looking. So for title, let's pass a param here, and let's say title text. For this I'll say this is results, and for home screen I'll say class name, not class name, sorry, title text, I'll say Quizler. I'll copy this name and I'll go to my title component here. I'll destructure it from here, and instead of directly using this, I'll say this and like this. So this should work. Yeah, you can see results, and instead of start here, let's go to result screen and change this to go to home. Go to home. Perfect. Now if I say go to home, I'll go to home. Now what is happening here is the image is being used by my the same image is being used there also. Now we can mix it up a little, and let's go to icon scout from where we are using these images. Yes, from icon scout, let's say victory. For victory, I like this image. I hope there is a failure image for this as well. You can find any image that you like. So this is for victory, and there is some watermark as well. Anyway, and we also need something for failure. So as of now, I'll just copy this image, copy link address. I hope this is correct. No, this is not how it should work. I should get access, but we are developers, we can get some hack around this. So which image are we talking about? This image, right? This image. So I'll go here and I'll just copy it from here. So now if I replace this URL, you should see that if I skip show results, my image is being shown. Yes, you can see the victory image is being shown. Now instead of showing victory image all the time, also we have to show our score, whatever the user score is. So we will do here something. We will say text, and we are getting params.score. So we will say, instead of doing it like this, we can destructure our score from here. We are calling it score or scores. I'll have to see. We are calling it score. Okay, we are calling it score. So we will destructure it here, score. So whatever score we have, we will show it here. We will style this in a moment. Till then, as you can see, our score is 0. That's really bad. Let's try to get some score first of all. What is the name of artificial intelligence system in the 1983 film War Games? I don't know. How many countries border Kyrgyzstan? Let's say 4. I don't know if it is correct. Which of the following is not a fiction in Tom Clancy's The Division? I don't even know a single question here. Which of the following Call of Duty game was a PS3 launch title? I don't want to Google here. I'll just say which studio animated Afro Samurai? No idea. Kyoto. The MMORPG? No idea. Which of the following dice is not a platonic solid? No idea. After the 1516 Battle of March Tabik? No idea. So this was the last question. Let's just go to show results. We still had a 0 score. Okay, so we had 40 score, like 4 of the answers were correct. That's really nice. I'm proud of myself. So let's give it a class name, a style name, basically this score. Let's give it a styles that score text. Let's say score value, and let's go here and say score value. In order to do this, let's give it a font size of 24 only, and let's give it a font weight of 800, and also let's make it center. So align self, let's call it center. I hope this will, yeah, you can see the UI is not really great, but the work is being done. So now what we will do is we will change this image based on our score, that whether it's a victory score or you can do well. So that's a really minor thing. I'll just say instead of victory, I'll say failure, and we will copy any image that we liked. This one is nice. Yeah, this one is nice. So you see, I'm not following any UI principle. I'm not following the best image, relatable images, but you can create, when you are going to create your own project, choose the images very carefully, choose the font size very carefully, choose the color scheme very carefully, and create your application however you want, because now you know how to create the functionality of a quiz application. So here we can't directly paste it. Now what we will do is we will say const what, let's say result image banner, basically result banner is equal to, now if score is greater than 40, minimum 40, if it is more than 40%, which means the user did well, otherwise this failure. So for success I'll just copy this png, command C, I'll paste it here, and I'll remove this and I'll just say result banner. So now what is happening, this is an operator which is checking if my score is greater than 40, then which means either 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 or 100. If it is more than that, then show the victory image, or otherwise show the failure image. So this will, as you can see, 40 score is the bare minimum, so this is a failure image. Now you can go to home and you can say start. So let's try again. Okay, before that let's go to quiz application, and on the last option here we are checking that if question is not equal to 9, then do this, otherwise else, if else, okay, just say if, you can use else also, or you can just return it here and then call it again, but let's go this way. Else if question is equal to 9, if the question is 9, then do this, then just handle show result, call this function, no need to copy this. Now this should work. In the Harry Potter series, what is Headmaster Dumbledore's yeah, this I know. Percival, where is it? Albus Percival, yes, this was the answer. Which musician has collaborated with American producer Porter Robinson? I don't know. How many countries does Spain have a land border with? We can just Google it. Spain shares border with how many countries? With how many countries? The answer is, there is no answer as such. 5 different countries. That's nice. 5. Which song? I don't know. In One Piece, which one of the following is not an ancient weapon? I haven't watched One Piece. Which one of this Mario Kart game was made for the Game Boy Advance? I don't know. Which planet? I don't know. What is the capital of Scotland? I should know this. Not London. I'll just Google it again. Capital of Scotland. It is Edinburgh. Right. So what is the first track? I don't know. Which is the largest country in the world? Not population wise, area wise, they're not mentioning it correctly, but let's say Russia, area wise. Result is 30. Okay, so I got only 3 answers correct. If you get more than 30 marks, you will get to see a victory picture. Just to showcase that we can do something here, go to results and let's increase the bare minimum points from 40 to 10 for losers like me. Now you can see the victory picture. So this is it. The entire functionality of the quiz application is done. You can see the questions are being rendered. Although let's do one more thing here. I'll see. Yeah, let's do one more thing here, that you see this minor white screen here till the time my API is being loaded. So till then, let's show a loader here. It's very simple. What you can do is, in order to show a loader, you can either download a Lottie file. You should know how to use Lottie files. They are really great. Lottie files. You can either download a Lottie file for loading, or you can, for just for illustration purpose, I'll show you how to do this, or how bigger companies do this, that you see those loading screens meanwhile your data is being fetched. So I'll say, I'll make a variable or a state is loading. I'll then say set is loading, and that's it. Use state. This will be a boolean. So initially loading should be false, and the moment you get into this function get quiz, you will set is loading to true, and the moment your data is ready, you have set all the options, you say set is loading to false. Now we are going to use this variable, this state basically is loading, to maintain our UI. So along with this, I will say if my questions are ready, but before that what I will do, so I'll say is loading. If is if loading is true, then I'll say this view, I'll have to mark it like this, view. Otherwise, if is loading, and otherwise I'll say question mark, that if is loading is true, then show this, otherwise show this. Now inside this I'll say loading and just 3 dots. You can put an animation here, you can put okay. So this is saying that this should be rendered inside a textual component. Okay, so this is the issue with React Native. I am habitual to coding in React and plain JavaScript, HTML, so I make these mistakes. Loading, great. Yes, so you saw that loading button, right? A loading text, as long as my text was being my questions were being fetched from the API. So this is a better elegant way of handling loading states. So let's just do one thing is I'll style it right here, no need to pass any function. I'll say display as flex, I'll say justify content as center, I'll say align items as not self, stop Siri, align items as center, and then in the text I'll say style, I'll say font size, font size, let's make it 32, and font weight let's make it 700. Okay, let's see. Yeah, also one thing, I'll give it a height of 100%. I don't know if this will work. Yeah, this is working. So as you can see, our quiz application is ready. Hope you liked the entire concept of building a quiz application. You can export this as an APK, you can publish it anywhere you want, you can put it in your resume, but before doing that, do change the UI. I really don't like the UI. I just completed this project because 8 months back I started this. So yeah, if you ask me, I'll go to Dribble, I'll look for a really great UI to use. Just search for a quiz application, quiz app. There are hundreds of great quiz application UIs, you can use that. And if you, yeah, let's see how beautiful these are. You can use any of these, but please don't use such crappy UIs. Yeah, I am talking bad about my own UI, but it is what it is. So change the UI. You can also add categories here. So in case you decide to add category for a quiz, you just have to change the API here. So here change the API and you can get category wise questions as well. So hope you enjoyed the video, you learned a lot. So I'll go to this thing, and I hope you like the video. If you have any doubt, do comment. I read all the comments and try to reply there. If you have any suggestion, you can comment that as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. And yeah, keep learning, keep sharing. Bye bye till the next video.